Hey, welcome back, friends. Jeff here again from Bygone with this incredibly cool 70 Camaro RS Z28. I had to summon the birds here this evening to help the ambiance a bit. Say, we're going to do an exterior walk around on this car, and some of you regular viewers are going to say, hey, you already posted an exterior walk around. But I'm listening to some feedback that I got, and I had a number of messages from viewers saying that I missed a couple things on the car. They were asking about the wheels and tires, and they wanted to know more about paint and things like that. And after reviewing the first video, I thought, yeah, I did miss a couple things. So 70 RS Z28, the pinnacle, in my opinion, of the second generation Camaro. This is the high compression year. This is 11-to-1 compression. Yes, I do run a mix of Sunoco and 92 unleaded premium fuel in the car, and it loves it. It smells really good right now in the shop. And this is the ultimate cruiser. It's a 4-speed car, M21 close ratio. Came from the factory with a 373 posi rear. Absolutely perfect. Keeps those RPMs up. And for other aspects of the car, please take a look at this other 7 videos that we have. Overall, as you can see from the car, it pops. It glows. It has an incredibly desirable paint scheme. Classic copper, white stripes, sandalwood, which is kind of an off-white interior. The car just looks everywhere, everywhere I go with it. And we've had this car for a while. We bought this last summer. I cruised it most of last summer. We've put over 400 miles on this thing. It's been just a blast. But I want to make sure that I'm giving the right expectations for buyers. This is not a concourse, McCacken unveiling sort of restored car. This is a driver. This is a car that you can get in on a Saturday night and go cruising with it, taking it to your local, we would say here in Wisconsin, custard stand, open the hood, get tons of compliments, and feel really good about the car. But if you start to nitpick it, you're going to see flaws, most notably because underneath all this gloss and pop and shine is 30-year-old paint. And it has signs of wear in areas, and it shows some dirt and some other flaws that you may not see in a $100,000 car. So what I want to do is just continue to kind of go around the car, show off the positives, but also show folks a few things that I've noticed on the car, because again, I want expectations met. I never want people to be disappointed. And one of the things that we've built our reputation on at Bygone is selling cars a majority of the time sight unseen, with the buyer seeing the vehicle for the first time when it comes off the trailer. So this is a rust-free car. You can see in the other videos, it is out of Indiana. So I was surprised too when I got the NCRS report that this is a Midwestern car, because the undercarriage on this thing is really, really nice. And the body's nice. There's no rust on this car. You can see in the photos, it's completely rust-free. What you get though with a vehicle with 30-year-old paint and single-stage paint, and again, this was originally probably painted with the idea that it's going to be a driver, is you're going to get little pieces of, now I've got the camera just a few inches away, but catch it there, you get just a little bit of dirt in a couple spots. Now, you stand 4 feet away, and none of that is visible. And that's the other thing that I want to have folks take home is I tend to really nitpick my vehicles. I've always been very detail orientated. I think that's why people like working with us, and we get the feedback that we do on our website and things like that, is because people know. So again, you're going to look at the back bumper and go, look at that thing pop. And it does. It looks awesome. But I think this is the original back bumper. I don't think this has ever been re-chromed. And you can see at certain angles, you can see some of the pitting and some light scratches and things like that. But on the plus side, from where we are right here, this is a Norwood built car, and I think they laid these stripes out darn near perfectly. I really, looking at other Norwood Survivor cars with original paint, this looks dead nuts to me. So there are a lot of positives. The trim on this car is nice. Now remember, because it's an RS car, it has all the added trim around the windows, the trim around the leading edge of the hood, and the bright work there around the taillights. And all of that looks just gorgeous. There isn't any of that fading or rainbowing effect that you get sometimes. Nice and straight. I had a fella ask from the other video, so I want to point this out again. Yeah, there's that small dimple there on the front trim, but again, right? You get a couple feet away and you're like, what is he even talking about? But that's the kind of detail I like to show off. You look at the roof, super high level of gloss, reflectivity. I always like showing off that Shell sign. Again, going up to the hood, Z stripes look fantastic. Emblem looks good. Emblem is likely original. Going to the front nose. Again, with the other photographs of the undercarriage, there's no doubt in my mind that this is a factory RS car. Everything, it checks all the boxes. Great attention to detail. We've got the power beam headlights in place. Again, front bumperettes are in really nice condition, pop, but you're going to get some spots of wear. Front nose, the same thing. Remember, I believe this car was painted in the early 1990s. So we're talking about 30-year-old paint. So you're going to have a couple touch-ups on the nose. You're going to have a little bit of stress in a couple areas. See that there as I move the camera? But again, I'm literally 3 feet away from the car, and it looks mint. So again, I'm setting the expectations where I think they need to be set. I want people to know exactly what they're getting. I want you to know that this car looks dynamite. The panel alignment looks pretty darn good. In fact, I would say that it even looks better than a lot of Survivors that I see, because the panel gaps on F-body cars was horrible from the factory. So some of you might be looking at stuff like this and going, what the heck? Why isn't he saying anything about that? Well, no, I am saying something about it. And you know what? If you want to spend an afternoon aligning things a little bit better and stuff like that, absolutely. I totally get that. Shout out to my Uncle Randy, because he would buy his Camaros brand new and come home and spend an entire day lining up doors and stuff like that. So, keep that stuff in mind. Other little things that I want to point out, there is a touch-up here on the door. See that there, right along the edge? Probably scraped at some point. The Goodyear Polyglass tires, I had a guy reach out about this, so I realized I didn't mention this. These are reproduction tires. These are not tires from 1970. They have fantastic tread. They're nearly new, but the bias plies just look dynamite on this car. I mean, when you look at the stance, with those bias plies, or you zoom in on just how those tires kind of hug the wheel wells, this is the only way to go. I can't throw a set of BF Goodrich radial TAs or something stupid on this car. It's got to run these. Wheels all look correct. If you need me to date code something, let me know. I don't know how to date code these. If someone wants to send me the guide, to what everything looks like, let me know. Everything looks the part though to me. The shade of the gray looks right. As we move around to the back, other details like the exhaust system, the exhaust kit on this car, it looks dynamite. It looks the part. It looks like an exhaust kit that would come on a 70 Z28 Camaro. Great slash tips on the rear. Those two tailpipes go into a single, what do they call that? Like a transverse muffler. And then, of course, dual pipes up to the two manifolds. Coming around to the driver's side again, more of what we've been seeing. Tons and tons of gloss, great reflectivity. Paint is pretty darn flat. There is some orange peel to it. It's not a Concours correct. Well, let me rephrase that. Over-restored, there we go, paint job on here, because again, these cars had a fair amount of orange peel in the enamel when they came from the factory. So these are, things, again, just setting the expectations. Great mirror reflectivity, but you're going to get a little bit of orange peel in areas. I suspect that this car has spent most of its life out of the elements. The interior, as we talked about in the other video, is mostly original. Undercarriage looks fantastic. It's not super scaly. Doesn't show those signs of the car going through winter after winter. Engine compartment, there's smog still on the car. There's smog still on the car. How many LT1 Camaros do you still see with smog? So again, I feel like this car led a pretty darn easy life. And as we're going here, get a little bit of dirt again. See it there in the paint. As with all of our vehicles that we sell, ladies and gents, if you have any questions, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm an enthusiast first. Grew up in a car family like so many of you did. My folks had Camaros when I was growing up. They're just near and dear to my heart. That's why I hung on to the car for the last year. It's been an absolute blast. You will see, I just caught it, and I mentioned this in the other video. I don't know if this is enamel, and again, I'll leave that to the paint experts, but I do know it's single stage. And you do get a couple areas where there's a little bit of like metallic pooling. I would use the word modeling, and it's hard to see. It isn't something that you're just gonna like zoom in on, but as we walk by that door, catch it there, see it? Where it's just like there's a little bit more metallic in a certain spot. But again, for folks who want to get in a car on a Saturday night and just go for a cruise and go through that 4-speed, what a gearbox. And look damn cool doing it with a factory correct 1970 RS Z28 4-speed car sitting on bias ply polyglass tires where you can pop the hood and show off that factory high-rise aluminum intake with that big Holley 870 dual feed carb on there, but still have all those correct hoses and things like that. The car is just gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. Friends, I really appreciate your time this afternoon. If you have any questions at all, give a shout. I'll be happy to answer anything I can. And thank you so much for your support. And I really do appreciate the feedback from the folks who sent us additional questions. Take care.